Okay, let's see if it works this time. Okay, so hi, good to see you all. Thank you all for being here once again. I do apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't know what the living hell is going on. This has been happening now. This is the second. It happened last week where the video would not come on, and I have no idea why. So I got to figure out what's happening here. But it seems like we've corrected it. You were Adam. Good to see you, sir. You were in the right room before. What was happening is somehow we were having a technical difficulty where we've been experiencing the last couple of weeks here on StreamYard. We've been experiencing some severe glitches to where things just haven't been working right. And sure enough, everything looked fine until I went to go live, and then I had no video feed. When I switched over to share the screen, I figured I could just talk over the slideshow. Um, and then suddenly nobody could hear me. And so I have no idea what's going on. So I do apologize for everybody for all that. So forgive me for the discombobulation, but I do apologize. So let's try this again. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Step Chat. For those of you that I've not had the pleasure yet of meeting, my name is Steve Jones. I am the executive director of Float. I am also the executive producer of the Aloft streaming service, of 1 Million Bubbles project, of Fulcrum, and a couple other projects that some know about and some don't. And very glad to have you here joining me tonight in our corner of the Floativerse as we get serious and start talking about Reno. We have some stuff to go over tonight regarding the convention. So I do apologize to those of you that got shuffled around or lost in the shuffle a few moments ago. We had more people on the call earlier, and so hopefully everybody will figure this out and get on board and jump in there. Aiden, good to see you, sir. By the way, Adam, I do apologize. I owe you a message. You sent me a message the other day. We've just been super, like until today, we've been stupid balloon busy. So I need to catch up with you on that. So bear with me on that. But I promise to get back to you clearly before tomorrow. So there's that. So I hope everybody's been doing good. Bianca, good to see you. Bianca Mendoza, nice to see you. Nice to have you tonight. Stacy Chase, one of our fabulous masterclass instructors at Float. Good to have you there as well. And Miss Stephanie, there you are as well. Didn't mean to leave you out. I was going to leave me until tomorrow. Yeah, well, tomorrow we got to have that conversation. We got to have it before that time. So yeah, it's fine. So yes, hello there. Good to see everybody. Thank you for being here. We have a lot of stuff to cover tonight. So let's get right to it. And hopefully this time everything will work. So please, everyone, if you would be so kind as to just make sure that we are good. Hi, Sherry. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me again. Hi, Murphy. Yeah, it's not time to play ball, buddy. All right, hold on one second. Now, I would appreciate some feedback from everybody to make sure that we are good to go here. The only nice thing about the system crashing is it did give me a chance to fix the slide. So there we go. Even though I have to admit, I have a new slide now that I didn't even put in there, but there we are. Julie, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Gabriella, good to see you, Gabby, and thanks for joining us. Greg Aragoni, my phone is really messing up and freezing. Well, I'm not sure why that is. But good to see you, sir. One of our fabulous crew members coming to Float. Dominique, lovely to see you as well. So there we are. Okay. So let's get right to the juice. And tonight we're going to rearrange the order a little bit because tonight we need to get to the big priority. Hello there, Bill. Good to see you, sir, from PS Helium and Balloons, one of our fabulous vendors coming to Float. It is, but tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow's a big day. So I am thrilled to share with everybody that the sponsor packet finally went out. Hello, Linda. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. The sponsor packet finally went out. I told everybody last Sunday it was going out the next day, come hell or high water. Well, we got some really high water and it didn't happen. Yes, I could have gotten it out, but the reality is it would have looked like the last half of it would have been completely thrown together, and I didn't want to do that. And so I did take the time to I did take the time to put some more time into it and do it right. Um, and so yeah, so it went out on Thursday. It also went out very late on Thursday. It went out like 2 o'clock my time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern time, which dramatically adjusted the schedule and what I was going to do with it. So as a friendly reminder to all of our sponsors and all of our vendors and all of our potential sponsors that are watching tonight, I do want to reiterate that the sponsor websites for the different opportunities available at Float will reopen tomorrow at noon. I'm going to expand on this here in a little bit, because if you'll notice, I said sponsor websites, plural. We need to address that here shortly. So let me get through what I got to get through, and then we'll fill it in here at the end. But for those of you that are watching, I do want to share with some of you, I do want to go over some of the big sponsorships that are open for grabs tomorrow. Many of you know that one of the biggest things that people sponsor at Float, one of the most appealing things that people sponsor at Float, are the different social events. So I want to take a moment to go out through this. Sherry Hatcher, I'm not hearing him as anyone else. Okay, well, hold on one second. Adam can, and
Sherry Hatcher, I'm not hearing him as anyone else.
And I hear him on my phone. Hear me on my phone. So yeah, I guess I am working. Okay. So Sherry, this might be you. Okay. So we talked about the different events and functions that take place at Float, and that's a big thing. All of these different events have different sponsorship levels and different opportunities to sponsor. And one of the comments that I got the other day from one of our sponsors was, my God, there's so many things to sponsor this year. And yeah, he's right. And I'll explain that when I get to the end. So let's start off with the Friday Night Fun. This is the new casual event that's starting out at Float, or that we started last year. This is basically about 100 to 150 people will be attending this one. With the Friday Night Fun event, it's a very casual function. It's not really super high end. However, there will be balloon decor available as a sponsorship here. There'll be a Shine product sponsorship, inflation equipment sponsorship for those that want to get ready for, help us get ready for the event. We do have brand new this year. We have lighted marquee sponsorships and mosaic decor sponsorships, because there are now multiple companies making or offering mosaic designs. And a brand new one too, prop elements. We've been getting some interest this year from folks who provide non-balloon related decor. So those are all available, part of the Friday Night Fun event, which will be taking place on Friday, January 23rd from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Right now, that space is marked on I believe it's going to be in the Carson 1, 2, and 3, which will be just, it's a classroom space, and the same, literally right outside the flop zone. So we'll all be able to attend that. Again, we expect 100 to 150 people. So sponsorship levels for this particular event are budget friendly. So for those of you that are looking for inexpensive options, in fact, if you'll notice in the sponsorship here, it says balloon decor package. You get everything. This one is just one fee, and you get the sponsorship, because again, there's only 100 to 150 people we're expecting to be there. So we can't really break it down by specifics and everything for that. So again, this could be a very, very good opportunity for someone who doesn't want to spend a lot of money, but wants to get a lot of opportunity. So there's that. Followed up, as course, Club Latex Karaoke and Dance Party coming back to Float again, Saturday, January 24th from 8 p.m. to midnight. I do want to stress that this year we are going to be enforcing a specific policy. We will be hosting from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. will be family-friendly performances. And then from 10 p.m. to midnight will be all bets are off. What does that mean exactly? It means that you can't get mad at me if someone goes on stage and does 2 live crews, Me So Horny. It means you cannot come to me and get mad if somebody goes up on stage and acts provocatively after 10 o'clock. It means you can't come to me mad because somebody gotten on the microphone and said some bad language. So basically, anything from 8 o'clock to 10 p.m., we're asking everyone to keep it family friendly. And then from 10 p.m. to midnight, we are going more of the adult oriented humor slash behavior slash whatever. This is not to imply that you get to act unprofessionally. I'm just saying that I know, yes, I understand that you've brought your kid to this event. I get it. But I'm giving you the safe zone, right? And then after that, if your child is still in the room, that is your decision, and you don't get to yell at me for that. We will be making very public announcements about that. With regard to Club Latex, there are lots of sponsorship opportunities. As typical with the event decor, there is the stage decor, entrance decor, and room accent decor. Stage decor, you will be decorating the stage, which right now is estimated at 24 feet long by 16 feet deep. Entrance decor for this particular room can be both inside the room and outside the room, so you can do both. Well, there go 4 of my 5 songs. No, Adam, just do them after 10. There you go. Room accent decor. Room accent decor, if I'm looking straight ahead, okay, Murphy, you cannot keep kicking the damn chair. Stop it. Room accent decor is everything but the front wall. So you get the side walls, you get the rear wall, and you get the ceiling. Now, you got to remember, though, GSR has very strict policies as to rigging on the ceiling. Basically, if you can't do it with magnets, you have to pay them to rig it. And not only do you have to pay them to rig it, you have to pay them to take it down. So there's that. So in other words, if you want like a balloon drop or something of that nature, you're going to have to, that'll run you about $700, I believe. Between the rigging fees, between putting it up and taking it down. Once again, Shine product, inflation equipment, lighted marquee, and Mosaic sponsors for this, as well as prop elements. And this time around, we are also looking for someone to sponsor the karaoke host. God love her, Aphrodite. Y'all pushed her to the point of no return. She is coming to float, but she has respectfully asked never to host karaoke again. The truth of the matter is that being a karaoke host can be quite challenging because as people get drunker and drunker throughout the evening, even at float, they get more and more obnoxious and they get ruder and ruder and ruder. And kind of like my last day of twisting, when I realized about 20 minutes into the event that, oh dear God, I'm done. Right? You can't pay me enough now to go twist balloons at a kid's party. I don't want to do it at all. And it's kind of the same thing with her. I tried to bribe her and she was just like, nope. There you go. So now we are on the hunt for a professional KJ to host the event. So once again, this is all again laid out in the packet. I'm just going over some of this other stuff. The one thing I do want to go over very quickly though, while we're here, I do want to talk about the Shine product sponsorship, and I want to talk about the inflation equipment sponsorship. As well as the lighted marquee. Now that I think about it, there's some details that go along with each one of these, and the Mosaic. Starting with the Shine product sponsorship, we have created a very hard and fast rule of this event after the experiences we had at Float 2024 and at Fulcrum. You cannot use aerosol-based Shine product at Float, period. Non-aerosol only. If you're going to have to use an aerosol-based product to shine the balloons, it will have to be done outdoors, not in another room, not in a back hallway, out of the building. We've had too many people complaining about respiratory issues, and we just can't do it. So there's that. Also, I do want to reiterate this point. If you are now, okay, so I know that many companies now offer multifaceted products. For example, there are balloon products. There are balloon manufacturers that offer their own Shine product. There are balloon manufacturers now offering their own inflation equipment. You've got, all kinds of things. I mean, Prima, for example, owns Conwin, right? And they have that deal with Legenda. DecoChamp, another good example. They make foil balloons and they have inflators. Please note that by sponsoring decor, by sponsoring the balloon portion of an event, that does not give you blanket sponsorship of the other elements. We had this happen last year with a sponsor who we didn't foresee this problem happening. We kind of had to deal with it on the fly. Somebody had sponsored the balloons, and we were completely unaware that they also have their own Shine product. And so when the Shine sponsor walked in to start shining stuff, the manufacturer was like, whoa, what do you know? You can't do that. We do that. And I was like, actually they can. So this year we need to be very clear about that is going out. So it is in the packet and everything else, but that is something we do want to point out. So just because you're sponsoring a decor element of something, that does not give you blanket sponsorship of every product you own. There is a separate sponsorship for these things. If you are sponsoring the inflation equipment of any decor element afloat, please note that you need to be prepared to have enough equipment there for people to actually do what they got to do. You can't bring 5 inflators and then sponsor. Well, I guess, I mean, technically, well, no, you can't. If we're doing the entire event, you can't walk in with 5 inflators or donate a bunch of hand pumps and say, here we go, now we're sponsoring the event. You got to have enough gear there in order for people to actually do what you have to do. With the lighted marquee sponsorship and with the mosaic decor sponsorship, there is a maximum footprint of 20 feet, 20 linear feet. We can't allow you to come in with a lighted marquee saying, my marquee company is the best in the world, unless it fits in 20 feet. So that's all you can do there. We got to create these rules because it just it just happens. So so there's that. So Club Latex sponsorships available now. Float's opening night, Sunday, January 25th. Very excited about this. We have contracted once again the lovely and talented Mia Asano, who will be returning to Float regardless of the circumstances. We're very excited about that. And we want to share with you the opportunities that are available for opening night. Opening night, folks, we got stage decor once again. Same stage as before, 24 feet by 16 feet. However, we also need a full back wall for this sponsorship because we have to hide backstage because of different things that are happening and taking place. Entrance decor. In this case, the entrance decor is limited to outside the room because we are expecting this room to be very, very full. And with the fashion show, we cannot have people standing everywhere and blocking the paths. Room access decor or room accent decor, once again, same as before, the 2 side walls, the rear wall, and the ceiling. Again, Shine product sponsorship, inflation equipment sponsorship, the lighted marquee, the mosaic decor sponsorships, the prop elements, and there are some different things available for this one. Once we are now offering an event program sponsorship. We have always wanted to hand out a program to everybody as they come in. And so this year we thought, you know what the hell, let's throw it out there and see what happens. Also, Mia Asano's performance. Mia will be performing at Float from 7:30 to 8 o'clock. That's why the event starts at 7:30 this year. Last year, she was the warm-up kind of before, and so many people were so mad that they missed the performance. So this year, her performance is on the official schedule as 7:30 to 10 p.m. That means we're going to be opening the doors to opening night at 7. Okay, so but we are also looking for sponsorship of Mia Asano's performance. That includes her performance fee, it includes her travel expenses, and her hotel stay. And of course, because we are doing the fashion show at opening night, we are still absolutely looking for sponsored talent to make dresses for the show. So we're excited to have people as part of that as well. So that's all available for Float's opening night. Pia Guadalupe, one of our fabulous crew members, and Greg Aragoni back again, another one of our fabulous crew members. Welcome to both of you. So this is kind of new this year. The one thing that I never thought in a million years that I would hear people upset about is, are we really doing the beach party again? Personally, I kind of thought that people would really, really like that to be an ongoing thing, but apparently not. Apparently I'm very much in the minority there. So we have decided to rebrand the Monday night event at this point as the Monday Soiree. This is scheduled for Monday, January 26th at 8 p.m. to 12 midnight. This will be, at least for now, scheduled to take place in the Club Lex nightclub. Yes, believe it or not, that is the name. It's so funny that we have Club Latex and their nightclub is called Club Lex. It's named after the owner. I guess the owner's name is Alexander. So it's named after him. But Club Latex and Club Lex should not be confused. So we have actually rented the nightclub space for this party. And so that's where it is currently scheduled to take place. I say scheduled for a reason. There is the possibility that that space will be demolished as part of the new construction and renovation by the time we get there. So we may have to reroute this space. It may be going to a different location altogether. We don't know yet and won't know until we get much closer to the event. Sponsorships available for this. Room decor. You'll notice that now that is referring to balloons. The reason I am saying room decor is because we are slated to be in the nightclub, there is no room for a stage in the nightclub. Traditionally, the DJ is up in a booth and that's it, right? The nightclub is not really laid out for stage decor. So, and then on top of that, to be completely honest, you're going to have to there's going to be some creativity when it comes to decorating the space, only because there's not a lot. I mean, there's a dance floor, right? But there's lots of booths. It's very bougie. It's got a very kind of an intimate feel to it. So, it's going to be some creative decorating, to be true. It's going to be some very creative decorating. The entrance decor, however, is a different element entirely. The entrance is actually off to the side, and there's an actual walkway that leads into the room. So to be honest with you, that won't be a problem. Now, for those of you that are doing the room decor, I do want to share with you, there is a step and repeat space right inside the room. So if you are sponsoring the room decor, you would have the step and repeat wall. The balloon, the entrance decor people would be separate. But this does mean, again, that you can do the entrance decor both in and outside the room. So you could technically do a double dose like you can with the Friday Night Fun. And then once again, Shine product, inflation equipment, lighted marquee, mosaic decor, and prop elements are all eligible to be sponsored. In addition to that, we need a DJ. And the fees in the packet, by the way, I do want to share this with everybody as well. The fees that are in the packet for now, you know what? I'll wait on that and I'll hold off when I get to the final night. So we'll talk about that shortly here. So these are the sponsorships that we're currently looking for. I do want to make a note, though, that keep in mind, I mean, obviously this event will still have a DJ regardless if it gets sponsored or not. I mean, we kind of have to, right? But there's always somebody out there that wants to be able to do something. So last year we literally had people begging, dear God, what can we sponsor? Because everything was sold out. So that's always a possibility too. And then of course we all know that Wednesday night there's no formal social function on Tuesday. There's the bowling tournament this year for academic sponsors. But other than that, the next social function is, of course, the Final Night Gala, the Designer Awards Gala on Wednesday, January 28th. And this year it's called Spread Your Wings, a beautifully loving tribute to our friend Tommy De Lorenzo, who passed away last year. Join us for a night of celebration and remembrance. The various elements that are up for sponsorship at the Final Night Gala. This year, the orange carpet is still to be sponsored, so that will be is open and available for sponsorship. I will get back to the balloon decorations in just a moment, but of course, once again, we have Shine product, inflation equipment, lighted marquee, mosaic decor, the prop elements. Again, with the event program, disc jockey and photo booth this time. We are looking for a photo booth sponsor as well. Now, here's the thing. We'll come back to this. Stage decor, entrance decor, room accent decor, and table centerpieces. All four of these sponsorships come with a caveat. our friends at Balloons by Tommy have made it. When I reached out to them to get their permission to do this as our theme, because I wasn't going to do it without Scott's permission. I wasn't going to do it without talking to all of them first. They agreed under one condition, and that condition is that they get to design the decor. So if you are sponsoring stage decor, entrance decor, room accent decor, or table center pieces, please understand that your designers have already been chosen, as they are the Balloons by Tommy team. Now, one of our sponsors reached out the other day and asked a very good question pertaining to this that I do want to follow up on. The question was, how much input, how much say do we have in this? Because, for example, if we have a brand new product coming out and we want that focused on, how do we make this work? And of course, my logic there is, well, it's just going to depend. I did speak with Adriana from Balloons by Tommy the other day. I expressed this very conversation, and of course, her response was, by no means are they not willing to have conversations and make adjustments and allowances. Obviously, you can't say, well, we really want to focus on our brand new Marvel Universe balloons, right? Or whatever. That's not going to work. But obviously there will be some input that you guys can, in other words, you can work together on this. That's the impression that I got. Hey, guess what I've caught for the first time in a long time? 6:37 p.m. So there's that. I know that many sponsors have been, I'm sure that's on the back of some of your minds, but that is a thing. So again, I felt that it would be, it's like a final wish kind of thing. How can you turn that down? So there you go. With regard to the DJ and photo booth sponsorships, just like the karaoke host, just like the previous DJ sponsorship, the numbers that are in the packet are based on current pricing that we have found online for Reno. If it turns out that we can negotiate something lower, ideally, if we can get a lower price, then obviously the sponsorship difference would be refunded. Okay. We're not trying to gouge you. We're not trying to rip you off, because I know there's some of you that have already responded like, wow, that's really high. It is, but you also have to keep in mind that most of those prices that are on their websites are based on like weddings, that kind of thing, on weekends, which is prime time. Our event, we need the karaoke host on a Saturday might be an issue. But having a DJ on a Monday and having a DJ on a Wednesday may not be such a big deal. We might be able to negotiate some different rates, because that's considered an off day for them. And as I understand it, January is dead as hell. So I just didn't get a chance before this came out. I didn't get a chance to really connect with any of them and get quotes yet. So I just took the pricing that was on the websites and said, okay, this is about the average. This is what we're going to price it at. And then we'll go from there. So again, if we can negotiate a better price, then whoever sponsors these, the pricing will not be the same. Okay. So there's that. Of course, decor at the social events is not the only thing that's up for grabs. Competitions that float are also up for sponsorship. Of course, we have the 5 primary competitions as part of Designer of the Year. That is the sculpture design, entrance decor, column design, organic decor, and table centerpiece live competitions. However, please note that the entrance decor, column design, and organic decor sponsorships are already gone. Those are gone because they were part of the Island sponsorship package that went out with the vendor showcase stuff a long time ago. So if you took one look at that price tag and went, oh God, keep going. Well, that was one of the benefits for the companies that didn't keep going. So those have already been assigned. The entrance decor is Anagram, column design went to Jamar, and organic decor went to Vitalik. So there you go. So the sculpture design competition is still open, table centerpiece is still open. In addition to that, we also have some deadline competitions. The hanging decor, mosaic design, delivery piece, table centerpiece. These are all previously established competitions. Keep in mind, however, the hanging decor sponsorship, for example, the mosaic design sponsorship previously, those were not part of Float's regular competition series. They were sponsored. A sponsor stepped up and said, "Hey, I'd be willing to do this. Can we talk about it?" Which is why we also have the create your own competition category there. Um, in other words, if we don't get a sponsor for hanging decor, if we don't get a sponsor for mosaic design, we may not necessarily host it. Okay, so these are things that need to be kept in mind. And then, of course, too, this year for the first time, a company can actually sponsor the Designer of the Year award. What that would mean is that you and your company's representatives would actually not only would your logo be associated with the series, you'd be on all the different competition things and everything else. You would also get stage time at final night to present the winner of the Float Designer of the Year. So added stage time and everything else. Like I said, your logo will go on the trophy. So it's all over the place there. So it's yeah, nice little legacy marketing, so to speak. For the first time this year, we are allowing sponsors at all 33 of our Floaty Awards. Every single one of them. And remember, this year we added a new one. We added Distortion Technique as one of our floaties. So there are now 33 categories. But at the same time, if a sponsor wants to, if they want to create their own category, they can do so. The best example that I can come up with off the top of my head was like best frame, for example, our good friend Paul Teal with event framing or event welding. Sorry, he specializes in frames. It could be best frame, and then you would show before and after photos of your frame that you built and then the design. Obviously, pre-made stuff doesn't count. I mean, that's one way of doing it, right? Anybody can create their own category as long as it's not currently covered in an existing category. Okay. You also can't get ridiculous about it. I mean, we can't have like best orange design, best blue design. That you know what I mean? It's like there are challenges. So again, these are all ideas to come up with and things to think about. So the competitions are there. For the first time this year, Float will be offering a jam room. And I mean jam room as in Twisters. We've had jams at Float before, but we've never had a formal time and space for it. It kind of just evolved naturally. And then, of course, for 3 years, we had the foil jam. But now we are going to have an actual twisting jam room, and there are sponsorships available for that as well. There will be 10 vendor tables in the jam room. So if you want to sponsor balloons for the jam room or you offer a twister friendly service, you can get one of the limited 10 tables in the room. The sponsorship price, by the way, is for the entire week. It is not for, it's for the 4 nights of the jam room. It is not for a night. It is for all 4 nights. You can sponsor featured talent in the jam room. What does that mean? That is not somebody who is teaching a class. What it is you get yourself, let's say you've got a client who's a fairly big name twister and you're like, man, this dude's amazing. I wish, more people could, learn from this person, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So the idea is you have somebody come to the jam room who's a big name in the twisting world and they just going to be there. One of the problems that a lot of the twister conventions have nowadays is that, and I'm not speaking out of turn when I say this, so I'm not bad mouthing anybody, but this is a problem that some of the conventions have experienced, is that the bigger name talent never comes to the jam room. So here's all these people in the jam room making stuff, blah, blah, blah. And like the rock stars are nowhere to be found. And in some cases they're out being social, and in other cases they're in a separate space entirely jamming just with their immediate circle of friends. So the idea behind Feature Talent is to actually have a spotlighted artist in the room that night that we can promote and advertise, saying, oh, and guess what? Blah, blah, blah is going to be making balloons in the jam room on Monday from 6 to 10. And there you go. Now, again, this does not mean that this individual is your personal instructor for 4 hours, but it does mean that you can hang out with them, chat with them, ask questions, learn whatever while they play, but understand that they're there to play just as much as you are. Okay. And then, of course, too, you can also sponsor a design contest. We plan on offering design contests every night in the jam room. Hold on a second. So, yes. So different design. Now, these are intended to be 15-minute contests. So the idea would be you could sponsor, a sculpture contest. You can sponsor a fast twisting contest. You can sponsor whatever. These contests can all be done. We have a list of ideas that we've come up with that you can work with us on, and you can sponsor one of those as well. So there's that. Adam, is that per night? I'm assuming you're talking about the featured talent. Yes. So the pricing in the packet is for one night. So because the artist shouldn't be expected to be there every night. And even then, if the artist is there every night, you lose the impact, right? So the idea, and the artists don't necessarily want to, unless you're paying them good money. So basically it would be one night. The idea is to have different talent in the room every night. So if that makes sense. Okay, there's that. Tabitha Miller, will multiple brands be represented in the jam room? That is the plan. That's why we have 10 tables. So it says a balloon/service sponsor. So the idea is to have multiple vendors. And I can already tell you that once again, there are at least 3 manufacturers that are going to be there, because with their island packages, Gemar, Vitalik, and Anagram all got a complimentary table in that room. So yes, the plan is to have multiple manufacturers in the jam room sponsoring the room. We are not going to have a buyout night. The reason for this is also related to convention issues. In the past, I know that Twist and Shout suffered from this problem. And again, I'm not speaking out of turn when I say this, because this was kind of public. Let's say that Qualitex was sponsoring the jam room that night. Well, the other manufacturers would tell their people, yeah, we don't want to see you in here tonight with them sponsoring. And vice versa. Another company would sponsor, and the Qualitex people would be like, okay, you really shouldn't be in there tonight. So that we don't want that happening at Float. So that's why we are going to have multiple manufacturers sponsoring the jam room, period. So that is how it's going to work. Capitalism at its best. Okay. Plus, guys, there are so many other sponsorships available. I cannot list them all here tonight. But there's a lot of sponsorships available. And so we are very excited about these opportunities. And again, there's so much more. I didn't even talk about the different convention sponsorships as far as decor at the convention. There's an entire hall. There's a 215-foot hallway that leads to the event space. That is going to be somebody's pride and joy at Float. There's entrances to the primary space, entrances to the crystal ballroom, entrances into the competition room, entrance into for what am I thinking? Oh, the vendor showcase. Duh. 28-foot wide entrance, double-sided entrance into the vendor showcase, folks. Big time marketing opportunities. The Gallery of Nations, which we're going to talk more and more about next week. That is up for sponsorship. The lanyards are up for sponsorship. I should also note, it is possible. There was an omission in the packet on purpose because I didn't know the state of it yet. It is possible that the tote bags will be added to that list tomorrow, added to the website. I don't know for sure yet. I'm still waiting on a couple of answers. The t-shirt, the event t-shirt, once again. Believe it or not, this year, I didn't mention this before. I've been talking about it. We are hoping. In fact, I'm almost guaranteed on this one. We are going to have a headshot photographer at Float this year, doing nothing but taking headshots for people that want to get professional headshots done at the convention. We've got Pops card sponsorships. If you want to get your face, if you're one of our sponsors and you want to get your face on a Float Pops card, you can do that. It's in the packet. There's all kinds of stuff. And we have sponsorships ranging from the thousands of dollars to $50. Huge variety of price options. So if you're on a budget and you're like, we've already spent so much on this and I'm bringing so many people and blah, blah, blah. There's lots of opportunities out there for you in a variety of price ranges. You just have to figure out what your budget can handle, and we'd be more than happy to help you. So once again, the Float Convention sponsorship package officially went out on Thursday, July 17th. The websites will open tomorrow. Allow me to explain. So yesterday, when I took the vendor and sponsorship website down so that I could update it with all these new sponsorships, I made a shocking discovery. Sherry, I'll get to that in a minute. I made a rather shocking discovery because this has never happened before. I had no idea that our registration system only allows up to 99 options. So I did all this damn work for nothing. I had no idea that it cut off at 99. So as a result, the sponsorships have been divided up into 4 categories: social events, general sponsorships, competitions, and talent. So very quickly, social events are everything we covered tonight. That would be the Friday Night Fun. That would be Club Latex. That would be opening night, the Monday soiree, and the Designer Awards Gala, as well as the Jam Room. Okay. So if you are interested in, and again, all of this will be in the email blast that goes out to everybody tomorrow. So you don't have to panic. You don't have to worry. You don't have to try to keep this in mind. But if you're looking to sponsor one of those functions, you would go to that link. If you're interested in sponsoring any of the competitions that we talked about tonight, the floaties or anything else, you would go to the competition sign up page, and that's where you would sign up for that. If you are interested in sponsoring talent at Float, if you wanted to bring featured talent in the Jam Room, if you want to bring a dressmaker for the fashion show, if you want to sponsor, we have 4 masterclass instructors that are still unsponsored at this point. Adrian Winfrey, Jason Sakota, Stacy Chase, and Josh Dirks. All of them are currently unsponsored. If you want to sponsor one of those instructors, that is where you would go. If you want to sponsor a bonus class at Float, if you have somebody that is coming to Float that you want to put in front of everybody and show them off, you can sponsor a bonus class at Float. You would do that there. Okay. And then finally, basically everything else would fall into general sponsorships. This would be the decor we talked about for like the vendor showcase decor, or that we have photo op decor. We have 5 different photo selfie stations we're sponsoring this year. This would be the lanyards. This would be the t-shirts. This would be the Pops cards. This would be anything and everything that we didn't already cover. Okay. So there'll be, now I know that this is going to be a pain in the butt for some of you because you're like, dude, I got to enter this information like 4 times. Yeah, I get it. But the one thing that this does allow, or this does prevent, however, it prevents somebody from buying everything. Because one of the biggest concerns that I've had at this point is that somebody goes in tomorrow at noon and just goes, click, 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 and then buys like everything. So this prevents that from happening to a degree. Obviously, when it comes to the social events, they're all clumped together. So I can't guarantee that's not going to happen with the social stuff. Somebody could go in and buy out an entire event. You know, they could, and I can't stop it. We used to do this before, and we may have to go back to this down the road. We may have to go back to a lottery system for a sponsorship selection in the future. But yeah, so there's that. But the problem with the lottery system is it takes forever. And then you got to get the person to pay for it. which we had an issue with at the last convention, that we had a sponsor sign up for this or last year, and they said, well, can you just invoice us? And I said, sure. That did not go well, which is why we have new policies. So there's that. Adam, will you send links for these in the emails? Yes. Yes. Tomorrow's email. So what's going to happen tomorrow I should be more specific because for YouTube, some of you are watching this late. So on Monday, July 21st, there will be 2 emails that are sent. 2 emails that'll be sent. The first email will be sent at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That email will be the reminder email. It will have hey, this is a reminder that in 2 hours we're doing this. This will educate you as to some of this stuff, and it will be showing you a summary video of this content that I'm talking about tonight. Because a lot of people there's a lot of vendors and sponsors that aren't watching the show tonight. So it is my intention tonight to edit some of this down into a special sponsor-only video clip that I will upload to YouTube first thing in the morning. And then that video will be available in a link also. So if anybody didn't watch tonight, they get to watch tomorrow morning. And they can watch it before we go live at noon. Okay, does that make sense? So that's kind of what my intention is there. And then, of course, the second email that goes out at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are, that email is the live links. And keep in mind, so these 4 links that you see here on these 4 graphics, the web links have never been posted because I had to create all of them today and yesterday. So the vendor link will not take you to this at all. The previous vendor link is still closed, but it won't take you to this. It'll just be the vendor booths. But speaking of vendor booths, I'm thrilled to share that we have some new vendors coming to Float too. And I apologize in advance because I meant across the board to ask how to pronounce this before I started. So I want to welcome our new friends. I want to say it's Zicali Balloons out of Texas. Brand new distributor coming our way to Float 2026. First time at Float. Let's show them some love. Very excited to have them joining us. And in addition to, like I said, if it's Zicali Balloons, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. In addition to them, our good friends at Rainbow Balloons got around to getting their booth for the vendor showcase. So we're very excited about that as well. I will say that the Float website does not have the new floor plan on it yet. Hopefully that'll be out first thing in the morning. So it will not reflect our new friends with Rainbow Balloons and Zicali Balloons on the map yet, but hopefully that'll be corrected tomorrow. So there's that. Sherry, by the way, I've not forgotten about your question. I'll come back to that. Adam, we don't have to log into anything, do we? No, because what will happen is you'll, just like you did with all the other sponsorships, you'll go on and you'll pick which ones you want, and then I'll ask you for your pertinent information, right? It'll work like that. So there's that. And as if all this wasn't enough, tomorrow marks 10 days until the expiration of the Float payment plan program. The 6 easy payments it ends July 31st. You must be enrolled in the program before the end of this month in order to take advantage of the discount plan. You put down an initial payment of $315 plus the $9 service fee to Planet Reg, and then it takes out $100 a month after that until you're paid off. You can't get easier than this. It's latex on layaway, folks. So far, a few people have taken advantage of it. I imagine there's going to be a lot more people that take advantage of it by the time July 31st gets around. And again, I do want to remind everybody that the price of this registration system is $795. It is $100 more than the current price of $695 for domestic attendees. So in other words, if you come to me and say, wait, I'm not supposed to, it's only $695 right now. Yep, it is if you pay it up front. Or if you're an international, that's $575. If you're in the flotation program, the beginner program, it's $550. No, you don't get to sign those. Those are not available for payment plan options. If you're an international attendee and you want the payment plan, you got to pay $795. Okay. The reason is simple. We're taking a greater risk. We've talked about it before. 90% of the people that sign up for the payment plan never finish. So it's a lot of work and a lot of effort with very little reward. So hence why you're paying more. So there we go. All right. Let's talk about Aloft, our live streaming program that we offer with Float. 24-hour a day streaming content, over 150 classes, videos, and yes, podcast episodes that are available for you and all of our members. Oh, you're right. It's not flotation. It's foundation. Thank you, Miss Stephanie. I spoke out of turn. Foundation, not flotation. Thank you, Miss Stephanie. So yeah, all of our members for like as low as $10 a month get access to all of this content. There's float classes on there. There's live monthly classes on there. There's the Rubber Bubble podcast on there. There are the old Arideco video classes on there. But I mean, and some of the biggest names in the world are in these classes and in these videos. So it's not just some newbie who started making videos because they saw 18 other people make the same content. So we're excited about that. However, we do have a very important announcement regarding our class with Dawn Gertman coming up later this month. Dawn, unfortunately, has an issue. She picked the date, everything's fine. Then a family situation came up, and now she is unable to teach the class on July 29th. So the class has been rescheduled 1 week later on August 5th. So I do apologize for the change, but again, unavoidable. So Dawn's class has been rescheduled for 1 week later, which is August 5th. That is at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. Again, all of our Aloft members, you will now be getting an invitation on August 4th. You'll get your login information for the class on August 4th. If you are not a member of Aloft, you can either join Aloft at floatconvention.com/Aloft. Again, it's $80 for 6 months of access or $120 for the full year. Please note, these memberships automatically renew unless you go in and turn them off. And that doesn't matter if you are a paid member or if you were if you had a promotional deal. Those automatically renew too. That's why you're asked for payment information when you join. That's another story. So yes, there you go. You can either join Aloft at floatconvention.com/Aloft, or you can just sign up for this individual class for just $25. Not only do you get live access to the class, but you also get the digital download when the class is over. So you'll receive this video no later than August 10th. The reason I say this is because because she backed it up, I should technically go to September 10th. But we already know who our August instructor is going to be. So that one's September 10th. So there we go. Speaking of which, give it up to Jesse Claro, everybody, who is going to be joining us for our formal August class 2 weeks later after Dawn's class on August 19th. Again, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. Getting returns on your reels. Jesse is going to show you all how she actually makes good money with video content. You know, one of the problems with social media is we all post and post and post and post and post, and we think we don't get anything anywhere. With that being said, you just flat out join us for this class with Jessie, and she's going to show you tips and tricks on how you can actually turn reels into real money. And again, all of our Aloft members will get their invitation on August 18th for the class. If you're not a member, you can join Aloft or you can sign up individually. Now, admittedly, the $25 link is not there yet because I wanted to wait until we get closer to Dawn's class before we put that up on the website. So that is currently not available on the website yet at the Orange Store. Okay. We have a question. Celeste, where can you go to find out what payment information is on file? That would be through your PayPal account. So when you logged in or when you joined, if you signed up to your PayPal account, you would go in there. Otherwise, because I don't actually have access to your credit card information. Only PayPal has that. So when you signed up, even if you chose a financial option, you would still have to it would show up in your system as reoccurring payments, and then you would go in and it would show you how it's being taken out of your account, whether it's coming out of your PayPal account or whether it's coming off a credit card or a debit card or whatever. Okay, that would be the way, but I can't do that for you, unfortunately, because I do not have access to your PayPal account. Very good. Yeah, somebody got very upset with me the other day because I couldn't answer a similar question. I'm like, I don't want your credit card information. It's not, I shouldn't have it anyway. Okay, folks, we've been going a little long, but we knew we would. Let's get to our street level float content for everybody. Let's start with the Step Chat survey. Every Sunday now in the group, we start posting a question. And this week's question was inspired actually by the photo of Brian Getz's feet stuck in a lake somewhere or something. No, it occurred to me that it was partially inspired by that. It was also inspired by myself because the truth of the matter is, I've already started packing for float. And somebody, Betsy, I think it was, Betsy reached out to me yesterday through a Facebook message and said, I'm so excited. I've already started packing. So I thought to myself, how often do most people really, when it comes to a convention or a balloon related event that you're going out of town for, how often do most people start packing? How early do you start packing? So I thought about it and I thought to myself, because I know people that, well, like my ex-wife, for example, literally doesn't start packing until like 3 hours before we're supposed to leave. Whereas, it's so odd that you would think that way. And then given how she is, and then you've got other people that start a couple days ahead of time. You got people like me that start throwing things in suitcases now, right? And that way I have less to worry about when it's time to go. So there we go. And so the question was, how often do you start packing? As of earlier today, we had about 45 votes in. The almost half, I follow my methodology, where they start collecting things weeks before and then leave finish up with last minute details. I, for one, for example, have a travel shower kit that's already ready to go. Like I don't like my shampoo, my toothbrush, my toothpaste, razor, all that stuff is already packed and it's already in one of my carry-ons that I take with me everywhere. So it's already good to go there. So yeah. And of course with float, I have totes with all my float gear, all my clothes, all my orange Chuck Taylors, all that stuff. So I actually pulled that out the other day and started sorting through things like, what do I need to make sure is going? Because the last thing I want to do is wait till the last second on any of the stuff, because I always forget something if I do. But yeah, so there's that. So there were a couple of you that were brave enough to say that you don't start packing until you're a few hours away. Good for you. I can't do that. I wish I could. And I think a sizable number of people start packing, 24 to 72 hours prior, and that would be the majority of people. That would be the 28 and 22. That would be 50% right there. So yeah. So thank you all very much for taking the time to answer the survey. Once again, we do want to remind everybody that Float is on YouTube at youtube.com/@thefloativerse. You do have to put the @ symbol in there with YouTube. So it's youtube.com/@thefloativerse. And so we do ask that if you are on YouTube often enough, if you would follow the channel, if you would subscribe to us, that would certainly help us out, as well as liking, sharing, commenting. All of these things increase our engagement potential. And that would be greatly appreciated from all of you. I also want to remind everybody about the Step Chat schedule. Now, I didn't have time to come up with an entirely new graphic today. So obviously we're doing the live broadcast now. So episode 273 is being broadcast as we speak. Tomorrow, the full episode of this show will be uploaded onto YouTube. In addition to that, the abbreviated sponsor section will be uploaded as well. I'll be prioritizing that. So there'll actually be 2 uploads. tomorrow. I probably won't do it tonight. I won't upload it tonight because my internet speed at home is terrible. But I can upload it in the morning from here, or from even hell, my phone's even better than at home. So I'll get that up and running for everybody. And then on Tuesday, the general summary episode will be uploaded to YouTube as well. So you can watch the abbreviated version. Now, this one will probably be a little bit longer than normal. It'll probably be 20 minutes to 30 minutes as opposed to, the 10 to 15 that it's been lately. But it's a lot more than sitting through me for, an hour and a half. So there's that. Oops, sorry about that. Hit the button twice. Our good friend Lisa McIntyre is back on Tuesday with Kick It Back with Lisa Mac. So we're excited to have her joining us once again. Lisa's show, of course, is the virtual happy hour done through Zoom, where everybody gets on the live call and hangs out with Lisa McIntyre on Tuesday, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's right. Whatever the hell time it is where you are. Lisa will post the link in the Float group. If you don't want to join the call live, you can always just comment live on Facebook here on the same page, the Float page. The first hour of the show is broadcast live, and after that, it goes into after party mode. Some of the folks don't even get on the call till the after party mode because they don't like being streamed. But for those that are okay with it, we love you. So we'll see you Tuesday with that with Lisa McIntyre. And as I've already previewed, this Wednesday, you get a double dose of Lisa McIntyre because she and the ladies of Working Wonders will be back for their next show coming up this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. The ladies of the Working Wonders will be absent one of our regulars though this week. The lovely and talented Crystal Rutan will not be joining us on the show this week, but instead we do have a very special guest filling in for the topic. Before I do that, let me get to this point. The topic of this week's show is about communicating with clients. They're going to talk about the different ways that they communicate with their clients. Well, it just so happens that I know a company that refuses to speak to clients on the phone. Like everything is done online. And that would be Balloons by Tommy, who we've already talked about today on the show. Well, Adriana from Balloons by Tommy will be filling in for Crystal this week so they can talk extensively about how they approach their customer communication process. So we're very excited about that. Looking forward to that. So Adriana, is going to fill in for Crystal this Wednesday. I, for one, will not be able to watch the show live. A to the L to the EXA and I, and every single person we can find pretty much, have a 13-foot tall by 12-foot wide organic balloon wall that we have to install in a 30-minute window from 5 to 5:30 p.m. So unfortunately, I will not be on the show. I will be at the MoPop, which is the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle. But I hope you all enjoy the show, and I will, of course, enjoy it on replay. So there's that. So there we go. Laurel, ooh, nice. I avoid the phone too. Yep, I totally get that. I try as much as possible. And with that being said, that will take us to the end of our slideshow tonight. So thank you all very much for that. Okay, Sherry Hatcher had a question. I did not forget about it. Sherry Hatcher's question was, can we please make sure that the headshot person has a balloon backdrop? Yes. I've already made that abundantly clear. It doesn't make any sense for a balloon person not to have a balloon backdrop. Now, what there will be, as I understand it from speaking with God, it looks awful. You'll get a choice. There'll be two set up, and you'll get to pick one or the other. There will not be time to adequately do both. You'll get to pick one or the other backdrop, and then that's how it'll be done. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. How can you have a balloon convention and have headshots and not have a balloon backdrop? That just doesn't make sense. It was interesting because when I was originally shopping this around a long time ago, when I was originally shopping this around some time ago, one of the photographers was very she's like, I'm not going to do that. Like that doesn't look professional. And I said, well, clearly you're not used to working with real professionals then. So. Tabitha Miller, how much will the headshots cost? Well, that's a great question. That's going to depend. Well, let me back up a little bit. So it turns out that a photographer that I know and that I've worked with quite extensively here in Seattle, who is one of the preferred photographers for Microsoft. They actually have flown him around the world if you remember when they had Microsoft stores, retail stores, they flew him to almost every grand opening they ever did. Great guy. Name's Mike. Lovely guy. If the headshots get sponsored, it will cost you $0. If the headshots get sponsored, it will cost you $0. Now, I've already committed to Mike. I've already committed to one day. So he's coming for one day. And according to Mike, he can do without editing. He just takes headshots and that's it. He can do 120 people in a day. If we are unable to secure sponsorship for the headshots, flotation pass people will be free. If we are unable to acquire a sponsorship, Aloft people will be half price. And if we are unable to get a sponsorship, if you're not a member of Aloft and you're not a flotation pass person, you would pay $50. So there you go. Adam, that is in the packet. That's in the packet. So yeah. And also I should note, since you did ask, yes, I did. Stephanie. Yes, I said flotation this time, and I meant to say flotation this time. Oh, by the way, if one of our company sponsors wishes to sponsor a day, right, of Mike taking pictures, part of the deal with that sponsorship is you and your entire team gets priority placement. So you guys, you get first dibs on the reservations that day. Again, if we have 1,000 to 1,200 people attending float, we can't get through that. He doesn't have enough time in 3 days to take 300. He's going to take 360 people. That's all he's got. So it's going to be a first come, first serve kind of deal. Okay. And keep in mind that time frame includes classroom time. Now, we already talked to him about taking a lunch break. We're going to schedule him a meal break like during one of the class sessions, because he has to be able to break for food, right? However, if all the stuff in between classes sell out or book out, then the only times might be in a class time. That may be all that's left. And we can't expect him to work till midnight every night. Now, we might talk to him about the possibility of what his schedule could be. We can certainly talk to Mike about, can you start at 9:30 every day and go till whenever, or can you start at 10 every day, or can you start at noon and go till 9 o'clock at night? And that way we get as many people as possible after classes are over, right? That's a possibility. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we can talk to him about that. I'm sure he's got, and I know Mike, he's probably very flexible on that stuff. So yeah, very excited about all that. So yeah, basically it would be $50 if we can't get it sponsored. If we do get it sponsored, it would be free. But see, here's the other thing too. It's going to depend on how this works out. If it turns out that we get it sponsored, then the flotation pass people are like, well, what about us? Well, if everybody's getting it free, then what about it? Well, then the flotation pass people get priority after the sponsor. So in other words, the flotation pass people would then get to pick the next round of sponsorships. And then after that, it would be the Aloft people. Right. So basically, if you're not an Aloft member and you're not a flotation pass holder, you're probably not getting a complimentary headshot if we only have it sponsored for one day. Or we may end up doing a combination of things. We may end up eating the cost of him for a day and have a sponsored day and a float day. And so there's lots of options going on. He's holding the dates for us right now. So I'm very happy about that. And he's made it clear that we don't need to make a commitment. We have months before we have to make a final commitment of what day he's going, but I have guaranteed him at least one day, which means I'm on the hook to pay him at least one day. So there's that. So yeah, there we go. But lots of exciting stuff. Oh, there's even there's cell phone station sponsorships this year. Float is acquiring 4 charging stations. 2 of them will be in the Float Flop Zone / Jam Room. 2 of them will be in the vendor showcase. When they are done, when the vendor showcase is over, those will then come into the Jam Room, the Flop Zone, so that people can, charge their phones and stuff while they're having fun, and they can kind of sit near them and whatever. Those are all open for sponsorship as well. You can sponsor them by the day. You can sponsor them by the entire convention. All kinds of fun, and that includes, of course, signage and everything on the thing. We've got the slideshows. You can have a slide in the slideshow program that if you remember last year at Float, we had a monitor in the hallway, and we were supposed to have 2 set up, but one got hijacked for something else. But that will just run a constant slideshow all day long, and that slideshow it'll be thanking people for their participation in Float. It'll be thanking the sponsor. It'll be thanking that talent, that teacher. It'll be thanking our Aloft class people, whatever. But it will also be flipping advertisements for companies in there. And you can get those for as low as $50 a slide. And that'll run the entire convention. So there you go. It's a giant commercial. You can buy anything. You're not wrong, Tabitha. See, that's the thing about that. That's what a lot of people, this is the reality of these events. Okay. And I got to be clear about this. For a balloon decorator, Float it's educational. It's an educational experience. It's a social experience. It's a networking experience. It's an exposure to new products and new ideas and new everything. And if anything, it can also just be a break from your reality, right? It's all of that and more. But for sponsors and for vendors, Float is primarily one thing: an advertising medium, a method of marketing their products to potential buyers. And of course, the potential buyers are the balloon people that attend. And there's not a damn thing wrong with that, because as I've said it before, all of these people need each other. The balloon people need these products, and they need the manufacturer support. The manufacturers need customers, and Float needs all of you, because the only way this event can go on is with this kind of support. And now, with our new venue and the new levels of expectations that have been placed on us, and the new footprint that we have, my God, it doesn't pay for itself. And so this year we had to make some serious decisions. And again, I have talked about the budget for Float. I haven't talked about it here. I don't think I have anyway. I've just said it's a very big number. It's a very big number. And frankly, I should be a lot more nervous about it than I am. because whatever we don't collect comes out of pocket. Thankfully, Float has not lost money for several conventions now. I hope this isn't the first one to do the same. I don't think it will. I think there's a lot of support behind it. But that's just the reality of this. That's the reality of these functions. And now that Float has grown to the size that it is, again, the levels of expectations have never been higher. And we are facing some challenges this time around. The new location is challenging for some people. There are people that have absolutely said, Stephen, I'm not coming because I don't want to have to take 2 planes. If that's where you draw the line, okay, I get it. A lot of folks are so used to just driving to the Midwest. And now they have to get on. Now there's some people that are angry that they can't drive anymore. I get it. But I can tell you right now, if we kept this event in the Midwest with the kind of square footage that we need and the space that's required for what we're doing, you'd be looking at a 4-figure registration fee. And I'm not even exaggerating. You'd be looking at a 4-figure registration fee as a starting price. And there's people that would say, well, it's completely worth it. And I do. I get people all the time that tell me flat out, I get people that tell me all the time that Floats, people should be paying so much more for Float. I get it. But it's a balancing act. Because should they be? Yeah, absolutely. But every time you raise that price, attendance adjusts. One of the reasons why Float's vendor showcase is so big is because so many people come. And one of the reasons why people come is because the vendor showcase is so big. So we have to find sweet spots. And that's how it does it. That's how we do it. That's how we have to do it. And that's one of the reasons why this year we've literally slapped a price tag on just about everything, because we need to make sure that we can afford to run this event. I had a very enlightening conversation with a previous convention producer. This event is, and it's not in the balloon world. It's not in the industry, not in the balloon industry, but they used to run a different event. And I was talking to him and I just said, my God, I don't understand. I mean, how did you make money? I mean, I know what this stuff costs. I'm looking at your AV. I'm looking at your location. I'm looking at I mean, how did you afford this? And they looked right at me and said, we couldn't. And I said, they basically ran a negative every year, and they had one sponsor that just agreed to pay for the missing balance in exchange for exclusive sponsorship of their convention. So they never made money. They lost money every time, but part of that budget was their salary, right? And this sponsor would just make up the difference. Well, eventually the sponsor said, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. And they couldn't find another one to replace them. And so the event went away. So it's a thing. I'm sorry. I'm kind of rambling at this point. Pia Guadalupe, Float Convention is amazing. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And we're glad to have you on the team this year. Sherry Hatcher, I fly 2 planes all the time. Yeah, I imagine from Boise you probably do. You fly into a hub city and then over. But you probably have a direct flight this time, don't you? I would think from Boise there's probably direct flights to Reno. And I will also say that we are also, for every person that's not coming, right? For every person that says, I'm not flying 2 planes, there's somebody in California going, oh, thank God it's finally closer, I can go. So, it's just all a trade-off. Okay, well, if anybody's got any questions, we're at the 90-minute mark at this point here. So if anybody does have any questions that we haven't covered yet, by all means, throw them into the chat. I'd be more than happy to answer them really quickly. And if not, I'm going to take. Oh, ready for this? Stand up. Ready for this? Look at my rat dog. Look at my rat dog. Somebody got shaved on Friday. He doesn't even look like himself anymore, does he? He looks like the dog from Frasier. Like he doesn't even look like Murphy anymore. He is, trust me, but me and my rat dog. Look, say hi. There you go. Yes, we're going to go soon. I promise. We're going to go very soon. So, bet he's cooler. Yes, he is. I'm sure he is. But then, of course, the moment they shaved him, like the temperature dropped like 20 degrees. I'm in long sleeves today. Did anybody notice? It's July. I'm in long sleeves today. It was chilly today here. Priscilla, when are flotation passes going on sale? If I am not mistaken, they go on sale September 12th. I believe that is the date. It's either the 10th or the 12th, but I'm pretty sure it's the 12th. So there's that. Adam, can I call you quickly in the AM? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll tag you. I'll tag you when I get off the call, the live, and we can chat about that stuff. So there's that. He will be Murphy again. Yeah, not really. It takes a couple of months before he grows this back out again. And to be honest with you, it's I this time around, he went for 6 months before his last shaving. So this time I said, let's do 4. Because the biggest problem with him is we go for walks and stuff, and he gets all these leaves and crap and burrs and stuff in his fur, and he won't let me brush him. So I literally find myself picking this crap out all the time. Yes, I'm talking about you. 100 in Orlando today. Yeah. I don't know if I can handle that anymore. I will say though, we had a 90-something degree day, 92-degree day the other day, and I was loving every bit of it. Everybody, all my client were like, oh my God, I'm dying. And I'm like, if I wasn't working, I'd be loving this. Loving it. The only thing I was worried about is the balloons popping, obviously. But 92 degrees. We only lost 2 balloons. Only 2. And ironically enough, in the same column. But I was thrilled. It was 4 traditional columns, which is the balloons all the same size, with the 3-foot topper on there. Thrilled. Now, to be fair, the colors they're Microsoft colors. So it's orange, lime, honey yellow, and believe it or not, we still had some robin's egg left. That was the only color I was worried about because it was feeling really thin. But of course, we do them in 16-inch. We don't do them in 11-inch. We do them in 16, undersized. And then, of course, the 3-footer on top was sized down, and it was orange. And I was thrilled. I came back and 2 balloons out of all those columns that were still there. I was thrilled. Especially given the fact, too, that the day before the event, my client reached out to me and said, I have to ask, are these going to be on stands? And I'm like, well, yeah. How the hell do they stand up without stands? And then, of course, when I got to the event, I was like, okay, what? I said, let me guess. I said, somebody screwed up. And she was like, yeah. And she goes, that they used a different provider for a past event and everything blew over. And I said, well, I will bet my professional reputation that none of these are going to blow over. And they didn't. I was very happy. So there's that. Tabitha, it's hot and humid here in Louisiana. You sweat as soon as you walk outside. Oh, I remember those days. Back in Cincinnati, it was very similar to that. I remember those days. Pia, 80 here in LA. Okay, guys. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's show. Thank you all very much. I greatly appreciate your time and attention once again. Thank you for going through everything with me with the sponsors. Very excited. Tomorrow's a big day. Hopefully, next Sunday, I will have lots of things to update you on. Hopefully, we'll have lots of sponsorships to talk about and lots of great things to share with you. But until then, stay happy, stay healthy, stay profitable, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.